Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. I am here with the MISC Hull A. This is the latest cargo ship in Star Citizen that is in the current 3.17 PTU first wave patch. And I want to look at it, have a bit of a tour of it, and then talk about is it useful for the game? Is it a ship that you want to get? And I think a lot of cargo haulers will want this in their arsenal for a variety of reasons. Very useful, potentially, for industrial operations as well. But there are other choices when it comes to cargo ships. But it is very cool, and it does herald the Hull C coming into the game in the near future as well, because of its extending cargo grid. But let's have a look. Let's get inside. You've seen the outside. Well, actually, let's talk a little bit about some other bits. So it's got this little turret here. So this has two size 1 guns on the nose. They are distortion repeaters, so you might want to swap those out for more useful weapons. Maybe go ballistic if you want to deal a little burst of damage to someone that might be attacking you, so you can get away. Actually, at some point, I do want to talk about defensive strategies and how you should react and act. Should you surrender? What situations should you surrender or pay up or run away? Or attempt to fight? Should you fight with your escorts if you've got escorts, or should you just hide? Lots of stuff like that, because I think that will be an interesting meta, an interesting discussion. I have to work out how to get to this button on the door. Actually, let's just use the door access here. That would be more sensible, right? So we've got one entrance into the ship, which is through that sort of airlock and ladder. And this leads into the sort of main central area of the ship, so the neck of the ship, as it were. We've got a suit locker, which is all openable. The gold standard for ships at the moment is to make most of these doors and buttons all operational, and a load of the component access areas are sort of accessible for when they put in physicalized components. But you can see we can open all these different doors. We can use the lock buttons. There is light. I think it's the different lighting modes. So we can set the ship to sort of like emergency or low light or standard light. So the different lighting modes for your preference. So I switch to whatever, really. So we've got the component access as well, so we can actually open up a load of these. I am now blinded. These components here are sort of placeholder at the moment, but they will eventually be removable, destroyable individually. But I do like the gold standard for these ships. But yeah, so we've got component access as well in the neck. Let's have a quick look at the bridge. So it's a single-seater ship. It's just meant for one person. It's full of small components as well. So you've got 2 coolers, 2 shields, 1 power plant, but they're all size 1. They're all small. It's the same with all the other components, like it's quantum drive and all that sort of jazz. It's obviously very MISC-y. It's a MISC ship. You've got the little bay window, the leather box look. And then in the rear, we actually have a proper little habitation section and storage area. So as you go in here, you've got a weapons locker, which is cool because you can store a couple of rifles or whatever here. Or some pistols and stuff. And then you've got your bed, which also doubles up as an escape pod. You've got various other sort of little storage areas, so you can use this to store various little items in the ship, and some sort of more little cargo bits. Also got a little food area, and you've even got the fridge operational, I believe, at the moment. So this is all important in the future when you actually will really have to think about food and drink when you're doing long-distance journeys. We do have food and drink and survival mechanics in at the moment, and they are getting a bit more harsh, fractionally more harsh in 3.17, but it's not really that important yet because there's no true sort of permadeath and there's no sort of super long-range sort of cargo missions yet. But we've got a bathroom as well, fake mirror. You can see it's a fake mirror because that does not match what's going on here. We've got the shower, toilet combo, and eventually you'll be able to open up all these sort of panels and things where you can open up some of them now, but actually store things in them. And I know, maybe use the nail clippers, maybe use the toilet. You can expect the hygiene sort of bar in the future as well that will be important to some degree. You got your bed. That's all you need. You've got everything you really need in this ship to survive in the verse for a long period of time. It's not going to be the most long range of ships because it's only going to have limited fuel supply, and because it's a small ship. But it's not going to be a small amount. It is going to be relatively long distance. It is a dedicated cargo hauler. Let's have a little fly around. So the externals of the ship, I mean, it looks kind of cool. Should we expand it out? So this has taken CIG a long time to get right. So the expanding of that cargo spindle is effectively the ship changing its shape, and then they can put cargo on that, on those spindles. So it's like a morphing physics grid. That's something that took them a while to get right and to get working in any way, shape, or form. And that means that they can have this on the Hull C now. It means they can have it on other ships. It is a big tech milestone that they've hit. Let's retract that spindle. So you may ask why you'd want to retract or expand that spindle. Well, on the Hull A, that's a good question, okay? Because the Hull A can land while fully laden with cargo. That said, being slightly smaller and contracted might give it sort of some bonuses for, I know, having a lower profile, being able to get out of atmosphere, or being... It's going to have less wind resistance, things like that, maybe. But really, with the Hull A, it can land while fully laden, so does it need to both expand and contract? I'm sure someone in chat will go, yes, because of whatever, but it's much more important with things like the Hull C, where it can land pretty much anywhere it wants if it's contracted, or in a lot of places if it's contracted without cargo spindles raised and laden. But it can only really dock with stations if it's got a load of cargo and spindles. So I think it's an interesting ship. I do quite like the way it looks. I'm going to jump into the persistent universe and actually show you what it looks like with cargo on it. I am here at Lawville at the admin office, and we're going to buy some waste because it's cheap. We've got 64 SCU on the Hull A at the moment. Now, that's going to change in the future because they're sort of making it functional for 3.17 as a cargo ship, but they are going to want to change it up once they get the cargo refactor in, and obviously as they balance stuff in the future, and then we'll have more physicalized cargo rather than what is really in 3.17, which is just sort of like a placeholder for the Hull A and its cargo mechanics. So here we have the Hull A fully laden with some waste products. I just thought I'd just chuck in whatever cargo was cheap and available. But that spindle expanded actually has quite a lot of room for a reasonable amount of cargo. Now, in the future, I'm thinking the Hull A is actually going to be really useful for industrial operations, assisting things like the Prospector or grabbing cargo if you're doing piracy or looting, that sort of stuff. It will be able to quickly get in, grab some cargo, put them on the spindles while you're out in space in EVA, whether you want to use a hand tractor beam or put it there manually, and yeah, you'll be able to like grab the saddlebags potentially, although not confirmed, of the Prospector, stuff like that, chuck it on the ship and then move it between well, if you want to sell it at a landing zone, or if you want to take it back to your base, or if you even want to take it to like a refinery ship. I just think they're going to be really useful little logistics ships that you'll want to have in fleets. But yeah, that's really the Hull A at the moment. And as I said, it's not fully functional yet. It's it is fully functional, but it's placeholder with its cargo mechanics. This will be changing somewhat in 3.18 onwards once we have the cargo refactor. Yeah, I mean, it works at the moment. It's a cool little cargo ship. Are there other ships that are potentially better? Yeah. I mean, you may well like the Raft more at this sort of size level. Or maybe you want something a bit more multi-role. It's not great with its defense, the Hull A. It sort of will need to either have escorts or hide or that sort of stuff, or just go, you know what, I'm giving up. Yeah, I'll pay a ransom, or I'll eject my cargo. Anyway, that's your MISC Hull A, a very cool-looking ship. I do think that it's going to have a load of different use and functionality in the game, especially as the game evolves. But I do think there's a lot of other choices for cargo haulers now. But I'm very interested to know what you think. Obviously, the ship was, I think, $60 originally. And now it's at $80. It should be on sale again when 3.17 goes live. It won't be available to buy in-game in the in-game shops for a while. For like at least, what quarter or two. So sort of bear that in mind. But you obviously can buy it for real money if you so desire. But is this a ship that you like the look of? Do you think you've got a lot of use for the Hull A? Or do you prefer large cargo haulers like the Hull C or a Banu Merchantman, a different sort of type of cargo hauler? Do you think we'll see the Hull C in 3.18 or 3.19 later this year? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. I was feeling tired and sluggish. I found out that I was allergic to adverts and malware in 2022, which means I can't use the internet. If only there was a service that could help. Wait, there is! NordVPN.com/BoredGamer! It's NordVPN that I use, and it blasts away a load of my advert and malware-based concerns, while allowing me to freely explore the internet. Maybe I want to be in the USA today, and pretend that I'm an American. What's this? Now I'm down under in the Australias? Wait, now I'm in the UK. Okay, I live there. That is less impressive. NordVPN has done so much for me. Sign up with the links below or go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For April 2022, we're giving away an Origin 400i. It's a luxury exploration and touring ship, which will be great for a small crew wishing to explore the stars or try out a multitude of other gameplay. It's like a little yacht in space, a little piece of luxury. All you need to do to be in for a chance to win that is comment on any of my videos made during April 2022. More details in the description below. If you wish to further support the channel, consider clicking the join button under my videos to become a channel member or even become a Patreon. That goes a massive way in helping with our day-to-day videos and gives you a variety of little exclusives as well. But it should just make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. Join today! Thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment if so inclined, and I'll see you in the verse.